Oh, there's just a black screen. Oh, the F1 2021 was suspended. Okay, this is weird. Are you still in? Okay, could you invite me, please? Hold on. I might just be able to join from your thing. Oh, yeah, I just joined from you. Oh, cheers. Do you mind just checking if the stream is up and running? Because it's one of those things I just want to make sure just that it is, in case in case there's just anything going on. I mean, it's saying we're live on the Twitch, and yeah, it's saying we're live. Yeah, so if hello to anyone that might be watching, this is round 2 of WOR Tier 5 Season 12 at Imola today. I'm joined with Crispy here today. Hello. Of course, and given that it's so early on in the season, there's been a lot of shifting around from the first part, on like the first season, on this game, as people got more accustomed to the game itself. And some people have moved down a couple of tiers, some have moved up, including, the most notable being Dynamo Dan, who's racing for the Red Bull this season, coming out of the pit lane now as we speak. He was all the way down in tier 11 last season, wasn't he? Absolutely, and I mean the alternate strategy is going to be interesting to see what everyone goes for today, because alternate strategy tends to be more powerful on most tracks. At Imola, no different to that, because you can stretch out the mediums, force one-stop stuff to medium, but tyre wear is quite high around here, but the pit lane's so long that you don't really want to be making 2 stops. So tyre choice is absolutely key today. Sorry, you're cutting out. I don't know if you can. It might be on me, to be fair. But we're good. But anyway, I mean, whilst we. Oh, there we are. Sorry, I don't know if I would have picked up on the stream, but you cut out for me just a second as there's yellows in sector 3. I think that might just be someone letting someone through at this moment in time. But we're following WR Peanut at the moment as he goes on one of the first 5 laps of the entire session at the moment. As he comes around Tozer right now, looked very clean through the first sector, very tidy indeed, carrying as much speed as he can. It's very easy to lose the car at the back end around Tozer. Going on to Piratella now. Gotta make sure you don't lose. Very committed there, but at the same time it's very easy to lose on track limits there, especially around this section. And he spun at Emilia-Romagna. Oh, that's going to be disappointing, please. Oh, that's going to be good for him though. They landed it. They went into it rear first, because that can easily just claim your race and qualifying session there. Oh, and there's another man going off, as that is the slap bus, but I'm not sure if he's on. He is on a fast lap, it seems. It's going to hurt his chances. As oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got a lot of work to do on a track that's known for being quite difficult to overtake around. Although, as well as we were discussing before the stream began, it can be a pretty big race of attrition with how unforgivable the track limits are, with how close the grass is. As we've already seen, one driver out already, one driver had already span around that Acqua Minerale. Is it, but Yeah, I mean, all these I mean, if there's any time to spin around but not crash, specifically talking about WR Peanuts, it's definitely going to be the very first run that you do, because the track's going to evolve. The track is going to get faster as it gets more grippy, as more rubber gets laid down. So it was going to set a faster lap anyway, regardless. Yeah, so he's probably not going to want to actually qualify on those tyres. He's going to hope that he's able to set another as he blatantly goes across the track. I'm not sure if that's allowed in WOR, regardless of if it's a in or out lap. But I'm apologies, he just unintentionally got caught there, mate. So. Yeah, you can see it, couldn't you? But we're going to go with now to a couple of the drivers that haven't yet set a lap. We're going to go on the out lap for JJ115511. I think it'd probably just be easier to say JJ from now on. But yeah, he just came around the final corner now. As we very long straight, this will be where most of the overtakes do happen in the race. But at the moment, it's going to be seeing if he's got enough downforce, if he's decided to take a lot off for that straight line benefit. A lot of these drivers are doing very well around this first sector, looking very calm and composed. As I say, he dips a couple of tyres onto the gravel, showing he's really pushing the car. Again, and that's very close as well to the track limits on Toza on the run up to Piratella now, as he's going to fast left out of there, only a couple gear shifts down. And another tricky section here as well. Just got to be really committed. It's hard to see, and it looks like it could have been a track limits violation now. I'm going to see if it was. It wasn't, no. He's just set a fastest purple sector as he invalidates there. That's unfortunate. Fastest sector 2 and then invalidates. He's going to be kicking himself there. No, absolutely. That's unfortunate, because he does seem like he's going to have a lot of pace, but it's still time for him today. And even if, like we were saying before, even though he might not, even if he doesn't get anywhere far on the track, there's still chances for safety cars and potentially go for an aggressive two-stop, but it's not really what you're going to want to do in a traditional race. Oh, it's just so difficult to get that right, because it invites you to carry so much more speed than you can realistically carry, and you just get spat out off the curb, off the exit curb, and you just invalidate your lap in the end. That's it. It is, yeah. However, Slapbus is on a fresh pair of tyres at the moment. He goes very tight there, very interesting line But it's not one you'd see in real life, but it's definitely one that would be faster on the game. The Titan line, obviously, just with the way this game works, how are you going to want to do it as much as you can, really? Takes as much curve as he can as he gets the fastest second sector of the session. All about his last 2 corners now, and 3 if you count that little kink there. I don't think many people would, but very committed there as well. Not as aggressive as you maybe think it would be. He's going to cross the line now. As well as he's going to get, he's just a tenth slower than Artem at this moment in time. That's no, absolutely. It just gives you a bit of breathing room in case you do push a bit too hard on your final lap and you spin. I mean, it's still a front row. Can still, if this was to stay as things are at the moment, can still very much jump Artem with the better start. But of course, you've got to be careful of the slipstream from behind with Bibin and Bortorita. There we go. That's always a failure of mine to pronounce some of these names on Xbox. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's interesting just seeing like whether people decide to go for a second lap, if they just decide to back out and go back into the pits. It's all about time management as well, because even though it's a short lap around Imola, the pit lane takes a good while to actually just get yourself around. So you've got to time it perfectly, as WCD Pineda has gone for a lap now, currently 9th place with a 1:16.4. It'll be interesting to see if he does any better now for the Scuderia. Very easy on the throttle there, but doesn't quite take all of the curve that he could do. He is on a fresh set of tyres, so it's going to be interesting to see if that gives him any sort of advantage. I don't think it. Oh, that's going to be good news for him as things stand. 2/10 up. Wouldn't do anything for him at this moment in time, though he does have tactical pole position at this moment in time that would likely be snatched away from him if he doesn't improve at all. Again, I do just want to mention as well, VRC GC has gone into 2nd place at this moment in time. He's splitting Artem and Slapbus. So as things stand at the moment, it will be Artem on pole, followed by VRC, then Slapbus, Bibin and AVS Fan. 5. Yeah, and that turn 1, just chicane, is such a difficult place to really go side by side with, as KTFE Oliveira does go into 9th now. And it's so tight, especially in that midfield. I mean, if you go from 6th to 8th, no, 6th to 9th is split by 2 hundredths of a second. That is unbelievable. 6th to 10th is 4 hundredths of a second. By 5th to 10th is 5 hundredths of a second. That is unbelievable stuff. Just shows just how tightly packed this field is this season. And He has now, yes. Absolutely. Won the last race in Belgium. Wasn't able to view it, wasn't able to commentate it, but I did hear that it was a very chaotic race in Belgium. It shows that he doesn't necessarily have to benefit from chaos. He's got the pace to win anywhere. As we're going to be following that bus for what could potentially be his final lap of the race. The number 23 in the Red Bull, quite a nice sight to see after the 2020 season. But he's just... Oh goodness, no. Absolutely not. It would not want that to happen for Slapbus. It didn't want that to happen for Albon himself. But as we're going to follow Slapbus now, he's going through the first straight here as he comes up to Tamburello for what... When you look at the time, what might be his final lap, unless he decides to do a cool down or just go for 2 laps in a row potentially. Do see that from time to time, but it isn't exactly the most ideal situation because you will have 1 lap older tyres. You will affect grip towards the end of your first stint. And oh wow, 3 attempts, that will put him into pole position at this moment in time. The question will be though, if he does stick this on pole, will Artem, VRC or Wolf decide to go faster? It's very tasty last couple of minutes in this qualifying session in Imola. Wow! Over 2 tenths faster than Artem, but we're going to see how he responds. He's on his flying lap at this moment in time. He's coming around Tozer right now as we speak, just kissing the curb on the inside, taking as much curb on the outside. He's very, very calm and collected at the moment. That's going to put some pressure onto him, knowing that Slapbus has taken pole position from him. But he's going to keep his cool mind. He's going to go through Iqua Minerale, use as much curve as he can, tighter line than has been seen for most of his session so far. And throws the car into this chicane here. Oh, he's really kissing the exit curves there. It's really bold. Oh, he's bailing! Wow, I'm surprised. I'm shocked by that. I would have completed it anyway. I would have thought. Oh. Keeps it valid, but sorry, apologies, but keeps it valid, but I don't know if he's gone more time from that. That looks very shaky there. But he only needs a few hundredths to get that second place. I don't think anyone's going to be touching Slapbus for pole position here. He might be best just for P2 here. And is he going to get it? He is. He's going to get by 3 thousandths of a second. That is so tight. And obviously BRT Wolf has backed out like he said, as he is invalidated there. Potentially Oliveira could, he's invalidated his lap. It looks like it's Slapbus as I see edited form there, spin around. Unlucky mate, didn't mean to get that on the broadcast. But he will have... I did not know. So did that look like it was on purpose, or? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I think it might be a desync issue then. Oh, yeah, what is going on? Oh, this this game, and it just has a lot of quirks like this. I mean, what is this? I mean, red flag it. Red flag. Oh, you've got to restart now. It turns out it's going to rain. Well, that's an interesting. That's an interesting facet of this race. But we don't have any information about it at the moment. We don't know if it's going to rain tomorrow in the race. All we know it was dry in the qualifying, but I reckon the fact that some were trying to qualify initially on the mediums probably suggests it doesn't at least immediately start raining. Apologies, I am back. I just had to nip away for a second. I don't know if if anything was said. And oh, look at those clouds. Those clouds are. If it rains in the middle of a race, I mean that really would suit the tactical. That would suit the medium runners if there is to be any tonight. Oh, apologies. Okay. The invite is sent to Crispy again. Hopefully, it's not. My mic isn't echoing on stream, as we see. Oh, I don't know if there's a glitch here. I'm from. Oh, there we go. As hello, Crispy. Chris, oh, there we are. Hello. There we are. That's odd. Should we? Do you want to back out and just do it once more? Or? That's all right. Good thing we're only on the formation lap at the moment in time. Of course, for another rundown, just in case you've just joined us, it is currently Slapbus on pole position with an immense lap in qualifying, followed by VRCGC, Artem, Beatty Wolf and Bibbin in the top 5. And there is the predicted stop strategy, assuming everything goes well in terms of green flag running today, according to AWS. However, in this game, the faster strategy is likely a soft to medium. And speaking of tyres, we're going to just want to see what tyre is everyone starting on. It's soft for the most part, but there is a few medium runners there. That's interesting there. Will the medium runners actually be able to outsmart the soft runners in the end. I'm just going to try and invite Crispy again as before we get underway. There we go. And there we are. We're getting the grid underway, getting the grid set now for no, that's the wrong. Oh no, not TSOL. WOR. That was my old league. But we're here for WOR round 2 in Imola for season 12, as we're about to get the lights underway, and it's going to be a good race. So you've got to say, it looks like as we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 5 lights. And we're underway. There's a very short sequence there, and it's a great start from Slap Bus as we follow VRGC there, and it's a great start from Artem as well in the Williams there. BRT Wolves keeps it set, and he's going to go in the inside. VRGC manages to hold the position on the outside, and it's looking very, very close between them, side by side, as they look to go into Villeneuve at the moment. The Alpine of BRT Wolf looking to try and see if he can make his way through, and he's looking like he's going to over Tozo, and he's managed to squeeze his way through as VRC has lost 2 places on this first half of a lap, and it's Bibbin in 5th. Slapbus is going to be very happy about all the fighting that happened behind him, as he's already 7/10 off, and there's yellow flags in sector 1. There's a couple of crashes there I can see on the mini-map there, and I'm surprised there's not been any sort of VSC or yellow, just full course caution at the moment. Of course, yes, and very, very conflicting starts for a lot of people. A lot of people in the midfield who started further back have really benefited from a lot of the misfortunes of those who started further ahead. But as we follow this leading battle at the moment, it is currently Slapbus in first, Artem in second, as Artem goes wide and kisses the curb. I think Wolf does that in sympathy as well. VSC, even though he's lost a couple of positions, he knows he's got the pace to keep up with these guys in front. He's got to, for everyone, it's going to be very important that they don't let anyone leave their DRS, especially not in these couple of laps where there is none enabled. Because if, say, for example, Slapbus is able to pull out of 1 second of Artem, I mean, he's just going to run away with it, really, as BLC Wolf sets second set. Oh, and there seems to be a moment there. There's a couple of people going wide there. I mean, no, it doesn't seem that way. And there's another yellow flag in sector 1. I mean, Edited Fawn is not having a very happy day so far. A little oversteer there from BRT Wolf, but Artem is very close on the back of the Slapbus at the moment. Is there going to be a look for overtake for the lead? Is going to be 3 wide into Villeneuve, no, Tamburello potentially. No, it's not at the moment. They hold station, but that was very, very close from all of them. We don't have DRS just yet, but if there was 1 lap later, I think there could have been an overtake there. Of course he's gambled very heavily, and like you said, it's not paid off compared to Slapbus, who has 81% of his EOS so far. Penalty there for VRC. Imagine that's for time penalties. Yes, it was. That's unfortunate so early on, but it's a very difficult track. Imola is like. You'd think it'd be a lot easier given how tight the track is, how close the grass is, but no. Artem now very close on the heels of Slapbus again. Is he going to now, with the DOS to assist him, going to make that move into Tamburello? doesn't seem like he's as close as last time, but he's going to make the move around the outside in the end. And Artem with a very clean move in the end there to go into P1. Of course, and there was a bit of collision towards further back, but I don't think it's really impacted anyone so far. But if we're going to go back to the fight at the lead at this moment in time, if I was Artem at the moment, I don't think I'd necessarily fight Slapbus too hard at the moment. It'd be foolish to, because he's got more EOS, he's going to have DOS. Although that being said, BRT Wolf does seem to have a much better run than Slapbus coming out of the final turn. And it's going to be potentially, it's too wide at least, going into turn 1 there. And it's looking completely different. Artem's lost 2 places in one go there. Oh, and there's a spin there for VRC GC. I'm sorry to interrupt there in the background. He's not had a DNF, it seems like. Oh, he's broken his front wing though. That is very unfortunate, and that has to be his race over, surely. Yeah, look at this. And not only is that damaging for his race, it's going to be damaging for Bibbin and below, because before the crash there, that's not a place you usually see that being. That's not usually an overtaking place, but that's definitely not tactical because he's not got the DRS there. But that's actually helped out Bibbin and Alex Degu there, because as I was going to say before that happened, the fact that the Aston Martin driver VRC had crashed would have meant that Bibbin had been taken out of 1 second of the DRS zone, meaning they could well have fallen out of this contention for this race. But now that that's all happened, they're back in it, and I'd say any of these top 5 drivers at the moment are in very good chance to win this. Yeah, we saw with Vatsu in real life back in the 2020 Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, as BRT Wolf looks for the move on Artem now. Artem not going to fight it too hard, but with Vatsu, we saw in 2020 in the real life Grand Prix with Valtteri Bottas going a bit wide, which eventually led to Verstappen overtaking him. But it's a similar sort of situation there. But is there going to be a fight there into Villeneuve? Not exactly in the right moment. And oh my goodness, there's another crash. And that's a reset to track. That isn't allowed either, unfortunately. Oh, that is unfortunate for Bibbin as well. He's very good as well, very steady going on. But I'm surprised there's not been a safety car yet. Yeah, I just saw that on the. Oh my! This is incredible. Just how many just cars this track is claiming today. I mean, like we were predicting, this is certainly turning out to be a race of attrition. So don't count yourself out just yet if you're VRC GC or if you're JJ11, because there could be another couple crashes ahead that just at the right time that could put you in another competitive position, as there's going to be a move for the lead again. BRT Wolf there looks for the move on the inside, doesn't quite get it. Is he going to lose a position now to the slap bus here? No, he's not going to just at this moment in time. Very tricky sequence of corners there, as you have to carry so much speed. But again, a lot of these corners around this track, just losing the rear end as the balance just switches so quickly. Potentially a bit naughty as well, I think, in real life. I don't know how legal that would be in the rules. I'm not as familiar with the WR rules. We've been needing to check up on that, but I don't think it'd get in too much trouble for that. We are coming up to around the pit window now for the soft runners. If you're Alex Degger at the moment, who's at the back of his train, it's very, very difficult at the moment in this moment in time. Safety car! Oh, that completely wiped out what question I was going to make, because now every Borrow Torito there with the crash in the Alpha Tauri there, unfortunate way to end his race. And that's going to just spell disaster for the medium runners here. They could choose to stay out, but I don't know if they'd really want to. I mean, yes, track position, but at the same time you've got old 8-lap mediums. But it'll be interesting to see what tyres everyone decides to go onto at this moment in time. And of course, as we predicted, everyone going into the pit lane at this moment in time, the top 4 at least. Are we going to see AVS fan come in? Yes, we are. But the fact that there's so many different teams in the top set is going to really benefit. And they're all going on to mediums, apart from Artem, he's going on to hards. And Pingu's decided to stay out in the end. He's decided to stay out so far. But the fact that so many different cars in the lead there has really benefited their teammates, because there's going to be a lot less double stacking there. I think maybe that's why Pingu decided to stay out, because maybe he was going to get held up even further. And I don't think that's probably the case, because I think VRC was behind, but absolutely. When you're that far down, you've got to make a risk, and safety cars, as we're saying, are unlikely here. We've already found one, potentially going to be a couple more, as we saw. Probably should have been 1 or 2 today. So very interesting. Artem not going to have the initial advantage, and potentially going to fall away from the drivers behind. Interesting to see if he's going to try and hold them up at all, or just preserve his own race. But he will have the advantage towards the end, as the mediums will be crying out for help. I think we do get to around 70-ish% on the 50% races. Oh, and there's a big moment there under the safety car, potentially rustling that. Fair enough. Yeah, there we are. Yeah. Yeah, you don't see that very often. That I mean, he's very good for his race. He doesn't have to find the safety car there because that would have killed his race. Because then he'd just get all the blue flags. And something interesting as well that I've just thought about was just how this is going to reset everyone's EOS. Obviously, Slapbus was very, very conservative with how he was using his EOS, probably being the smartest of everyone with how he was using it. But now Wolf and Artem, who are some of the bigger offenders when it came to using a lot of it to try and push away, they're going to be able to move back onto 100%, and it'd be interesting to see just how much Artem uses to see if he can pull away from people who do have better grip at this moment in time. Yeah, yes, it is around that sort of time where the mediums can make it to the end, but like I was saying, I'm just very interested as to why JJ's decided to go onto softs. He very much is gambling on the idea of another safety car. They're already 2 laps old because of how many laps he's been under the safety car, but it is very interesting to see that gamble, and we'll see if that pays off. One of the longest pit lanes on the calendar, so that will very much benefit him if he is able to get that next safety car. Again, when we were saying about Pingu before he ultimately decided to pit, when you're in the midfield and you're trying to gamble for a win, sometimes just going against the grain, sometimes just rolling the dice with the strategy can be the difference between a handful of points and potentially a podium. And so it'll be interesting to see what JJ is able to do. He does have a 3-second time penalty, which will hurt him at the end of this race, as safety car is in for the end of this lap here, as everyone gets ready. They're warming up their brakes, they're warming up their tyres. It's going to be hardest for Artem, given how difficult it is to warm up hards. And hard's not usually a very good race tyre around most tracks, but if there's ever a track I think could make it work, it's probably Imola. Oh, that's... Absolutely. So we're coming out of the safety car now, back to green flag running with Artem in the lead, and comfortably so given his hard tyres. He's going to need that. He's now followed by BRT Wolf, Slapbus, Alex Degu. Then a bit further back is AVS Fan, KTF Oliveira with a 6-second time penalty at this moment in time. WR Peanut, the highest ranking Haas. Dynamo Dan, who like we mentioned early on in the stream, as there's going to be a move from the Slapbus potentially. No, not into toes at this moment in time. But as you can see here, I mean, Alex Degu just having a really bad start after the safety car at the moment in time. He's already 1.2 seconds as Artem goes wide. There'll be a validation. Oh, severe collision with Pingu. What's happened here? Pingu's out. Oh, his teammate. Oh no. Oh man, that's gonna make. If they've got a team Discord channel, I really hope they don't after that, because that will be handbags. Wow, and you see just on the exit there just how much better BRT Wolf came off of that. He's now 6/10 faster than Artem at the moment in just one set of corners. But yeah, Artem's just not going to have a pace at the moment, and you can see Slapbus is very impatient at the moment. But again, Slapbus being the smarter person when it comes to the ERS usage. I mean, that being said, Artem is up to 70% now. But BRT Wolf, I mean, he is using a lot of EOS just to try and pull out that time gap between himself and Slapbus. And at the moment in time, once Slapbus has to overtake Artem, he might be outside of 1 second. So that might be very, very clever from BRT Wolf. But to try and catch up, Slapbus will have just over 90% EOS. It's practically. And there's contact. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was just going to look at JJ as he was the only soft runner there. He was under safety car in 10th position. He's now up into 7th, but as he was making the overtake on, I want to say that was Peanut, but I'm not too sure. It was one of the Hasses at least, and they just go side by side into Villeneuve and out of Villeneuve, and just the tyres interlock there. I don't think there's any blame either way. It seemed like a racing incident, but that's going to be very unfortunate. And I'm sure that will be looked at by the stewards after the race. Yeah, of course, yes. I mean, he is now within 1 second of KTFE Oliveira at this moment in time. He's definitely making the most of his strategy at the moment in time, even if he is only on 4% of battery coming into Tamburello. But we're going to just move back onto this front battle at the front because it's just so close there, as Peanut is now retired. Oh, and that's a safety car, virtual safety car. And it is. Give us a run through of what's happened there. I think if we were to go back to JJ, this might come just ever so slightly too soon. He is currently on 2 stops. He's currently already made 2 stops, to be fair to him. But he will have to make a third with just how many laps left and how many laps he's made. It's not even half. It's just about halfway through this race at the moment. But he's. And so will JJ in the end as well. So 3 people pitting at the moment. Potentially a bold strategy, but a fresh pair of mediums will be a bit more comfortable coming towards the end of the race. But you do lose that crucial track position, and there's a double stack at Williams now. JJ's gamble has just certainly not helped him there, especially since Artem had wing damage. That would have contributed to how slow he was. I mean, maybe we'll see that with the Aston Martin drivers next week. I don't want to speculate. But no, I can't imagine they are at the moment. But professional working relationships always trump that in the end. They'll talk about it, and it'll be water under the bridge, as I'm sure will be the case between Pineda and Conrad afterwards. But again, I mean, Artem, I mean, you've got to think that might be him out of the race now. He is on the... Sorry. I mean, Slapbus has been, even though he's not necessarily led for much of a race, he's been there or thereabouts, and he's been very, very calculated in terms of his ERS usage. He's often just not, he's not been too gung-ho with it, unlike a couple of the other race contenders. So yeah, it'll be very, very interesting just to see how he plays this from the lead of this race now in lap 18, just over halfway through this race now. BRT Wolf down in 7th, last race's winner. He's going to be hoping to make a few moves himself in the Alpine. 7th place on fresh tyres. I mean, 6 and 7 lap tyre difference. It will make a difference towards the end of the race, but just how much? Now Quibolda now, he is on the soft tyres. The soft tyres, I feel like they could make it towards the end of the race, but again, it's just a case of the tyre performance just crying out for help towards the end of any stint here in Imola, because the tyre wear is decently high, but not high enough to go for multiple stops if everything's conventional, but it's been anything but conventional today in Imola, and we're only halfway through. Let's see what this second half of this race will be able to produce. I don't know. I mean, it might happen. I think it might be out for one more. No, yeah, that is a very strange call from Conrad. I will check the race director just to see if he's used both of his tyres potentially. He's not. He's still got a fresh set of mediums, so he'll have a very lightly used pair of softs as well. So it's a very interesting call there, because that would have been done under the safety car. You would have seen how many laps were left, and just going on to the hard turn, just not the right call. He's outside of the points as things are. I don't know if he's going to be getting into him without any fortune ahead of him. Of course, and safety car is now in this lap, as there's now a 5-second penalty between Bibbin and Quibolda. That's very disappointing between the two of them. That could potentially be removed post-race, so wouldn't worry about it too much at the moment. Have they hit each other again? what an that's such an amazing restart from Slapbus. He has, I mean, he probably could have done that anyway. Just he had a significant race pace advantage over Daegu, Oliveira, and AVS Fan, and those just everyone behind that little train of Slapbus, Artem, and Wolf in that first stint. But that, I mean, it's going to be interesting now as we're going to look back further on in the field. As BRT Wolf is looking for maybe a move up the inside there, but Sam as 95 as well. He's looking on the back of AVS Fan as we go into Aqua Minerale for the 20th time this race, and they go, and there's little side by side now between Sam and AVS Fan into that chicane, and it's not a very conventional overtaking place, and Sam ultimately makes the move there. But that's going to also cause AVS Fan to have an awkward exit out of that chicane, which opens up the door for BRT Wolf, and that's a bit close there. There's a bit of desyncing there as well, but ultimately BRT Wolf has to hold station for now. Yeah, absolutely. As we see now side by side, as we're on board with Artem, BRT Wolf going inside of AVS Fan and Souza, and he's forced him a bit wide there. He's caused AVS Fan to have a really bad exit, which has just opened the door for Artem as well. He says, "Thank you very much. I'm going to take your 6th place." Of course, and revenge moves like that, if that is indeed his motive, aren't necessarily the wisest things in the world, because you will be slapped with the book. Yeah, a bit of a oversteering moment there from Sam 95, as now BRT Wolf is going to look to be on the back of him as we go into Tamburello again. So many moves being made on the inside or the outside now in the case of BRT Wolf, but he just backs out there. And he's just going to live to fight another day there instead of risk the move and potentially wipe himself out. Oh, and Dynamo Dan, yeah. Oh. That is just very, very confusing scenes there. Not especially since I didn't actually capture that on the stream either. So, race director, me, what's going on? But it's weirdly become more processional as things go on. That being said, Artem, KTFE, Oliveira and BRT Wolf are all going 3 wide now into Tamburello. Well, not exactly 3 wide as they all decide to file in single file now, as Artem has managed to get past BRT Wolf as well. He was behind him under the safety car. He's now managed to bring himself into 3rd position, and it's going to be difficult for them to go up into 2nd position given how much time they have to Alex Daegu there, who himself has 2 seconds to Slapbus. Absolutely, and But if your name is Slapbus at the moment, this is exactly what you want to see. A delta of 2.7 seconds behind you, a delta of 2.5 seconds for those behind them. And a perfectly clear road as Artem now sets the fastest lap of the race to get that extra point at this moment in time. BRT Wolf now though, he is looking for the move and he's going to get it. Perhaps they're working together just to get the DRS together, not necessarily fight each other, but work their way up to Daegu, and potentially at the dying moments of this race, potentially up to Slapbus, even though that does seem unlikely at the moment. And of course, an uneasy alliance at the moment. They're going to want to properly fight later on, but at the moment they're just going to say, let's be friends at the moment in time. Teammates in different colours, really. But 1.3 seconds now, that gap from Alex Daegu to BRT Wolf. Just a moment ago, that was down to 3 seconds. So Alex Daegu going to feel the heat now in this next lap or two, as he starts, like you said, get hounded by BRT Wolf and Artem, as Artem does get through BRT Wolf again. Just teamwork there from the two of them. And Oliveira, he's also just tagging along as well. Bit of an unforgotten element in all this. No, absolutely, especially when you're getting to these late stages where you're going to get less friendly with the people that you're initially working with. You're going to want to get those extra 3 points between second and third, or those extra 3 points between third and fourth. It all adds up towards the end of this championship, so even though you may lose out on the day, it's still going to be important just to get a decent amount of points in for the championship. BRT Wolf obviously winning the last race, fourth at the moment, wouldn't be a bad result for him at the moment, as there's going to be a move now for second place made by Artem. He's gotten the move done on Alex Daegu, and Wolf is really going to have to move soon if he wants any chance of getting second place from BRT Wolf. No, from Artem, sorry. Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't look like that's going to be what he's wanting to do at this moment in time. 8/10 to Alex Daegu, but with how long you're on DRS at this track, it can be very powerful. That being said, he's down to 7/10 now as we go into Piratella 1 and 2. But 2.5 tenths for BRT Wolf on Alex Daegu. Alex Daegu, 17% ERS, 3-2-1% ERS. Wolf. Is that going to hinder him trying to make an overtake here? I think it is. He's not without any ERS at all. He looks for the move, but it's not there because he doesn't have any ERS. That's just the story of his races. There's a crash in Sector 3. That's the other McLaren of Conrad. He's been in the wars today, hasn't he? Yeah, not the most conventional spot, but he's obviously making it work for himself. And it's one of those things again where if you can't make, you've got to find out where you're faster than your opponent on the day. And if you're faster, if you feel like you're the fastest around Aqua Minerale, and significantly so, you've got to take that opportunity. As we go back to Tamburello again, and just no moves being made by BRT Wolf. I think he really is struggling with that lack of power. And that being said, Daegu doesn't have much himself, but he does have that DRS. It's basically equal pegging going into that final, into that first turn. But I've just got to commend Slapbus as well. He's free. He's maintaining more. He's more or less maintaining pace with Artem behind him, and he's not barely using any EOS. He's on 78% at this moment in time. It's just incredible drive from him today. I'm just thinking for now. 4 laps left in this race, as there's the yellow flag in sector 3. I think that's for KTFE Olivera or AVS. Yes, it is. 4 laps to go now. Slapbus, his tyre's going to come close to puncture territory soon because he pitted around lap 9. It has been, yes, and you can see. Artem really is. I think those tyres have started to fall. They've fallen off that all-important cliff there now. Artem is starting to gain a fair bit of time. He's about 4 or 5 tenths up from where he was last lap. Obviously, Slapbus does have that hidden weapon of the EOS deployment, but he can only do that for so long before that will run out for himself. But I think he's got enough, given where he is at this point in the race. As we no, he's going to have to make that move soon. And maybe he has to do it in a more unconventional area. Or maybe he's going to try and make it into Villeneuve, which is a very difficult corner to make it stick. And he doesn't look for it just yet. But his frustration's got to be setting in for him. He's got to be more smart with his EOS because he knows he's fast. He surely knows he's faster than Daegu. Surely he knows he can just sit back and relax with his EOS deployment. I just see him watching his telemetry now. He just puts the tap on the overtake button every so often, and he does it. It's just needless from him at this moment in time. He just save it all for Artem. Oh no! Oh man! Oh, that is absolutely tragic. Oh, and he's crashed again. Oh dear. Oh, that is unbelievable. And that is a reset as well. Stewards, I implore you, do not heap on this man's misery any further. But rules are rules. But that is so unfortunate. And that will be very good news for Wolf as he just now, without Daegu having the DOS, he just cruises past now. He gets second place. He's on the off chance that Slapbus makes a mistake. He's now in prime position to take that win. But BRT Wolf, he's got to be loving life now. We were just saying about how he's got to be a bit more aggressive because of Daegu having the DRS. But now Daegu didn't have a DRS because of Artem slipping up. Just that is incredibly fortunate for him, but also he's made the move, made it stick. He's had the race pace, he's not been able to really show his overtaking prowess. Yeah. Yeah, he may not get any points from it because he won't be in the top 10, but he will be taking away a point from Slapbus, which at the end of the season could end up being crucial because it does look like Artem does have a pace to challenge for the championship today. And so does BRT Wolf. He didn't necessarily have a racecraft today outside of that first stint. Did get stuck behind Daegu, but he has shown that he is able to make his luck where he needs to, as he did win in the first race of the season, but he is second today to this man that we're watching right now. It is Slapbus, who has had such a commanding lead. He's only just now deploying most of his EOS. For most of this race, that was above 70%. And he's just been so calm and collected. He's not always been leading the race, but he's been there or thereabouts. The only one not to make any sort of mistakes. His tyres have got to be crying out for help now, but they won't have to be crying out for much longer as he comes round the two final corners now. The second corner there and the last, Piratella 1 and 2. Very short run up to the finishing line. It is Slapbus who's going to win the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Season 12 of WOR Tier 5. Followed by Wolf and Daegu joining him on the podium there today. And VRC, he's had a good recovery there, up to 4th. He did crash out with his teammate. He had a collision with his teammate much early on in the race. We saw him back down in the order, up to 4th. I mean, that's a great recovery drive from him. And Artem's managed to find himself into P10 in the end, so he is actually going to get a point from this race, and he gets an extra one there as he gets fastest lap of the race with a 1:15.9. That's around where people were qualifying with as well. I think so. I mean, if you're happy, if you want to do interviews, I think it'd be worth it to do interviews with the podium sitters. So stick around, everyone. Absolutely, but sometimes I mean, it's one of those things in F1 where you've got to put your car where it needs to be for the luck to come your way. So that is your running order for the end of this race. Penalties penalties being added on or taken away notwithstanding. It is Slapbus, BRC Wolf and Alex Daegu as your podium. BRC GC in 4th, then followed by the top Mercedes of AVS Fan, then JJ, who was very unconventional with his strategy today. The highest Ferrari at one of our home races is Sam at 95 F1, followed by Oliveira the Alpha Tauri, Conrad, who was in the wars today, and Artem, who's are very unlucky to be down in P10 today in the final points paying positions. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Shall we just invite all 3 podium sitters, or how are you thinking? Yeah, just got to find. I just got to remember what his actual. I know it was Slapbus, but I know he also had a couple other. Fair enough. But shall we start with the man in the party at this moment in time? BRT Wolf, second place. Did you expect to have that? Did you expect to get that result after with 2 laps to go? How frustrating was it when Artem was in second place, Alex Daegu was in third, and you just seemed to be stuck behind both of them? Was that frustrating for you? Yeah, congratulations. And another man we need to say congratulations to is, of course, Alex Daegu. How are you doing? How are you feeling after that third place? Is there a bit of frustration that you didn't end up getting P2 in the end, or are you happy with where you ended up? Of course, that. Yeah, that was a very awkward race when it came to strategy. Just how was it to, when the safety cars came out, just to make those decisions as to, oh, should I pit, should I not, maybe? Yeah, wow, 66% on flat buses tyres at the end there. That was immense striving from everyone on the podium today. But especially with that added element as well of tyre wear. I mean, you said you didn't really feel it too much, like you didn't notice it too much, but you've got to have been feeling it, I imagine. But congratulations everyone on getting a podium. We're going to be ending the stream now, and we'll look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. as we move to, if you give me 2 moments, Russia. How are you guys looking forward to that? Yep. Ooh. Yeah, so might see a third BRT Wolf top 2 in 3 races. Would certainly be a way to get an early start on the championship. But that's all for now.